we're off. All right, let's have a look. All right, this one first. Maybe I'll just mute myself as I'm talking. Right. Sophie, it's Angela. Yeah, sorry, Angela. Did you wanna just talk through where you're at?
So did a lot of trying to work out the cloth for the fabric and the embroidery. So I would at first thinking I would just use a sampler like embroidery generator, but that tends to look more like machine embroidery. And my reference are like they're very much like hand embroidered. They're kind of almost a bit chunky. So in substance, I made basically a way to generate different stitch, like different pieces of embroidery.
Yep.
And then I worked on making moss textures and lichen textures.
Yep.
To make the quite a bit more interesting. I need to, I think, tone back on that a little bit. I think it took over a bit, but
yeah,
getting better.
It's getting better. I think if I look at the base, the one thing just to be mindful of, Angela, is just when you're getting that sort of the high frequency stuff, like it feels like it's almost high frequency all over it. So when you've got the bark coming through, maybe just having the big displacement stuff is enough when just knocking down some of the high frequency displacement and bump detail, just so that you've got a nice read on the lichen and the moss. And it just this variation in it, because it can just feels like it's just turning into noise, a lot of noise, if you know what I mean. And again, that's probably just some of the way that the lighting's shining on it, that you're picking up all that detail. But just be careful with it all turning into noise. The face is looking fantastic. I really like what's going on there. And you're right, maybe it's just a little bit overkill with so much being on there. Let's have a look at. Sorry, I just wanted to see some other angles. Yeah. Yeah, it looks great. The face looks really, really good. I love it. So is the with the actual clothing, Angela, are you adding more of this embroidery all over? Is that what you were hoping to do with time? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I just started putting the embroidery on it.
Yeah. Brilliant.
That'll be repeated. Like that'll be placed over the vest.
Yep. Excellent. Yeah, I love the sort of the puckering of the stitching and stuff with that as well. It looks good. Just with is that silk? What is that a silk sort of material for the pants?
Yeah, I was looking at like 16th century silk clothing.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome.
They're kind of looking really rich.
Yeah. It does look, it's got the sheen happening on it, which is, sort of indicative of the silk. One thing I just with the bands and I mean, you probably haven't had time to work on that yet. Just be careful with the really hard straight lines on it. If you can break that up a little bit, just so that it doesn't look so hard edged, because it just really pings out at the moment. Just maybe just even have some break up in it a little bit. Yeah, I think it's looking good. It's looking good.
Maybe the base is lost a bit. Like you don't really see the S of substance. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really mind. I don't really mind that too much though, just because I don't, for me personally, I wouldn't want the S to be the focal point. I actually don't mind that it actually gets lost. I think just with like I was saying before, with the high frequency bump detail, it turns into a lot of noise. So just work on that a little bit. And maybe not so much, like on, just knocking that back a little bit. But I think just with the bark, and again, we're nitpicking here, Angela, as well. Just with the base bark that you got there, it feels like it's just kind of. I know you've probably got a lot of color variation in it at the moment, and you've got your moss and lichen on top. I'd love to see a little bit more variation in that bark. And I don't know how much of just so there was some lighter areas, some dark areas. Yeah, cool, cool, cool. Because up here I don't mind it because it is covered with the moss and stuff, and that's giving us the variation. But when it's the hands, it just feels like it's that base color for the bark is very consistent. But no, it's. I mean, yeah. I mean, does anyone else have any feedback for Angela? It's always good for other people to give their input, and it's interesting because even like when I was working in industry, I'd always even ask junior artists, like when I'd been working on a character for a certain amount of time, because everybody has a different perspective and a fresh set of eyes. So it's you might get one little comment that you go, oh, actually I didn't notice that before. So it's really good for people to give feedback and critique other people's work.
Especially for me, I've been now.
Yeah, yeah, I know that. Yeah, did anyone else have any feedback for Angela?
Yes, actually, maybe some color variation on the face, like it's just brown. I know you're going to add like a autumn kind of vibe, but yeah, I was just wondering about this. Yeah, I was looking at some like like sometimes like people like carve things in trees and that sort of thing. I looked at some of that and I tried to put in a bit more weathering, but I'm not really sure how much I should put in.
Yeah, you can see that you've pushed it a little bit in certain areas. I would, yeah, I think I'd even push it a little bit further. Oops, let's just have a look. Sorry, let's just go through. Yeah, so yeah, just where you've got that sort of I guess worn wood look would be at the high points, right? Just like actually just even pushing that a little bit further, and maybe even um because you can see you've got some color variation in the leaves and the acorns and stuff like that. Like there's a little bit of color there, but yeah, maybe just pushing that a little bit more, and it'll really it'll bring out the highlights of that face a little bit more, Angela. And again, just push it and see how it looks and how it feels to you. And you might have to dial it down a little bit, but it would be interesting just to see particularly the facial detail, just around the nose and the eyes and the areas, just to help pull that out a little bit more from the actual other stuff. Actually, I'll just.
But when I was doing some weathering, I was actually seeing a lot of features, but
Okay.
I'll try to push with it.
I was just seeing back to, yeah, because this is your initial reference here, right? Yeah, and you can see even in that wood, like there's so much variation in that base color with the lights and the darks and the little bits and pieces, right? But you can see, I guess the raised relief, it's definitely lighter in certain areas as well. So I think, yeah, maybe just trying to get a little bit more of that going in, I think would just help bring out that face a little bit more. And and sometimes you have to just kind of fake it to make it work. You know what I mean, Angela? So like, yeah, maybe it's just really kind of bringing out some of that facial features, so it's quite, it's a little bit more recognizable. You know, and yeah, so I think maybe just try that a little bit more. It's good advice. Anybody else have any other advice for Angela? As her list keeps on growing.
Yeah, the same thing, the color variation on the sleeve. That's close to maybe give it a little bit of a blend in the maybe blend better with the hand.
Yep. Yeah, cool.
Like some dirt on its cloth. Yeah, I was wondering if I should add a bit of wear to the clothing.
Yeah, it's a good question actually.
Depends if you see him like a wooden creature or just a statue. If he's walking in the forest, he may have some wear and tear. Depends on how you see it in the story.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think you want to be careful if you're going to add wear and tear. Then it's going to it's one thing just to add a layer and add that sort of grime, but then it's kind of like, okay, then it starts saying, well, is the clothing worn, and is it going to be this perfect with the stitching and adding, so it starts getting complex. It's not just about adding a dirt layer. I think you got to be just careful about what that look, and it could be really subtle, Angela. You know what I mean? It could be something like a little stain, a color stain, and a little bit of a scuff or whatever it is. But the clothes are still quite new. But again, if you're going to add it to one piece, then it needs to make sense with the rest of it as well. So I think that's a decision that you'll have to make, and based on time and how much, because you've still got the pattern and stuff to do, and then integrate other parts to it and clean things up. But yeah, I guess that's going to be what the story is, right? Maybe it is just a distinguished character that has a clean set of clothes on. Yeah, but yeah, just be careful with adding dirt for the sake of adding it.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, great update. When I saw the stuff, yesterday. I was like, oh, that's awesome. You've been working on the costume and the lichen and the moss. Yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great. Really cool.
I maybe enjoy something a bit too much.
You can never enjoy that too much, honestly. I mean, keep working on that one, because that'll get you the job at the end of the day as well, Angela. That's cool. I can't wait to show the team where this one where some of these entries are going, which is great. Excellent. Did you have any questions for us?
No. I've got it's good. I've got a good direction now.
Yeah. Cool. Excellent.
It's always good to get eyes that haven't been staring at it for hours.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I remember working on characters for days, if not weeks, and I'd just be going have so much tunnel vision about where I thought this was going, and then somebody would say something, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I've been doing this completely wrong, or I need to go off in this direction. So it's really really super important for a bit of advice is don't get stuck on something without even showing people that aren't part of the industry. You know what I mean? Like, it can be anybody that goes, what's that? You can ask your older brother or your younger sister, and they'll go, what's that? And you're like, what do you mean, what's that? And if you feel like you have to explain it, then it's not realistic. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And it can be infuriating, because you're just like, I've spent hours making that look like moss, and you're saying, what is that? So,
Mom's great. I have no idea how any of this works, so she's only seen the result.
Yeah. That's brilliant. Good stuff. Great progress, Angela. And yeah, hopefully, with a little bit more time, you'll get this across the line, and it'll be looking amazing. It already is looking amazing, but yeah, taking it to where you want to get it. Looks great. All right. No worries. No problem. All right. Who we got? Aromy.
Yes, hello.
Aromy, how you doing, buddy?
Doing great. Thanks for asking.
Excellent. Let's have a look. Do you want to give us a bit of an update of where you're at?
So, so far I've done just about
I think I've done everything. Just have to polish it and gather some feedback. Have some bullet points as to what I can change or improve.
Yeah,
Would love to have your input.
excellent. It's looking fantastic.
Thank you.
It feels like it's all in the one world, which is great. Usually you'll work up an area, or and it'll feel like it's out of place. But when I look at the character, it feels like it's all working in the same space, which is fantastic. Yeah, you've got a nice clean base. The stitching details looking good. Face looks great. Yeah,
How do you feel about the forehead?
That area up there?
The shininess, the glossiness. I feel like this should be toned down a bit.
Yeah, you know what? Let's go back to the other angle. Oops. Let's go forward, sorry. I feel like, because a frog is quite shiny, and in terms of like the sliminess and the wetness of it. And I think if you were to tone that down, then it would start blending into the rim here a little bit more. So I actually don't mind that it's shiny. If anything, I'd possibly go even a little bit more shinier on the face, just to make it really stand out from the rest of it. And the only other thing I was thinking is possibly a little bit of subsurface around the mouth and nose. I don't know if you want to go down into that world, but maybe just a little bit of that. Although
Sure thing. I'll try it. That sounds good.
It would be just subtle, and again, you don't want to but it would just help. I think with just a little bit more variation in the face. I think that would be kind of easy to do as well. Just around the nasal passages, and just a little bit around the mouth. But yeah, I think he's looking great. Maybe I was just going to say, maybe just the gold is just a little bit too saturated. But just that's me personally. I don't know if anyone else has that feedback. Let me just have a look.
I can look into it.
Yeah, I just want to see. That's your mood boards. Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's just the type of gold that it is. Maybe just the color needs to be just brought back a little bit, just so it drops in. Because as soon as I look at it, those gold pieces are the real obvious ones that are pinging out. Even though you've got your gold coins down here, they still sit properly. Is that gold on the foot? Is that the same gold as that's on the buckles up here?
I believe not.
No. To me, these buckles work better just because they sit in. So I don't mind you having variation in it, but and again, this is your personal. I think maybe just dropping the gold color down just a little bit, so that it just sits a little bit closer to the coins and to the buckles here, just slightly.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, and one other thing I'd love to see, or maybe just even, I don't know whether it's having some numbers or some decals just on some of these. I don't know whether that's something. I don't know. Again, you've kept it pretty true to your concept art. I'm just thinking in terms of like where you're at right now. You've got a really good final piece. This is minor tweaking. What's the next? If you had 2 more weeks or a week and a half left, what's that a little bit extra that you could add to this character to go, oh, that's cool. Maybe it's stitching around here or something. Just some of that little bit of detail. What would that be?
Right. That sounds good. The stitching around the hoodie, the possible stitching on the armor as well with some logo.
Yeah, maybe.
Kind of symbol.
Yeah, just maybe even just taking this into Photoshop and just quickly doing a bit of a concept to go, what would that look like? And And again, Artie, if it's like, hey, you know what, it's taking away from the original concept, and I don't like it, then that's totally it's very subjective, right, or objective. So maybe just see what you could do in this extra time just to take it to that next level. Anybody else have any other suggestions?
By the way, Alvin, have
Yep.
you noticed something interesting that the eyes are always looking at the camera?
Yeah, that is interesting, actually. What's going on there?
So displacement pushed in, normals pushed out.
Oh, wow. So it's an illusion.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'd say the hood is a little bit like it could use just a little bit more detail to it,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, and you can see you've got some
Just
stitching
a bit more
down
details.
stitching down there, Artie, but maybe it would be good to have, like maybe a seam that I think you've got, it looks like a bit of a crease going around that. So maybe just adding that little bit of detail, I think that's what would take it, just that next 5 to 10%.
Mhm.
Ah. Anybody else?
Maybe push the height map on the point on the ground. They look a bit flat. I don't know. Maybe I don't see them. Okay, here. I didn't even read those as coins.
Yeah. Is that a middle bar a gold middle bar at the back there, Artie?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, cool. I see that better on the other one. Oh, you can.
I didn't have a close up of that, unfortunately.
Oh, okay, no
I
problem.
didn't have time to make many renders. There's a third optional render. Maybe it has a better. I don't know. It's just a side view.
Okay, yeah, you can see it there. Yeah, I mean,
Right. Yeah, that looks very barren. No.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think, what Angela said, adding some stitching detail to the hood, and possibly even to some of the leather stuff. Like, yeah, just because I love this kind of big stitching that you've got here. It's almost exaggerated, which is fun. And you got some really cool stuff going on there. Just have a look. Just have a look and see where you could add some of that extra detail. Whoops.
Maybe some crease grunge into the tarp. Like it looks a bit too green, like around the face and the inner thing.
In here?
Yeah, like you see some like a lot of the folds, but there are no like crease.
Yeah.
Grunge crease like dirt.
Like where?
Like you see them, but
Yeah.
it's like maybe push. Maybe some like push out the folds with more dirt in it.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's like fabric shading.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. Like just on the peaks where it's just got a little bit of a fade on the edges, right? Just to help it pop out a little bit more, and yeah, maybe using the ambient occlusion or whatever for that, just to add a little bit of that sort of, I guess, dirt or grindness to each of the crease as well. Yeah, maybe have a play with that too, Artie.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, overall, he's like I said, he's sitting in the right world. He's all fitting in. And maybe just even with I'm going to just go back to this one. Maybe just even slightly pushing. You've got the wear on the edge. What's on the edge of the leather here?
Oh, that's a very that's supposed to be wear.
No, that's cool. That's cool. But I'm thinking here, like maybe just adding a little bit. You can see the wear that you've got there as well, but it feels like it's just kind of one color where that wear is. Maybe just adding some color variation into the wear as well, so that it's even slightly lighter in some of those areas. Particularly up by the buckle where you'd expect to see a little bit more wear. where that leather strap goes underneath the buckle there. I'd love to see a little bit more of a brighter colour rather than that sort of, I guess, consistent colour with the wear that you've got at the moment. And even down here where it crosses over there, I'd love to see a little bit more brighter there.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
It would almost be almost the same colour as what you got the stitching there. Just some of these edges where it's a lot more worn down because it's obviously rubbing against the buckles and where it's folding over, etc. But yeah, looking good though, man. Really good job. Really good job.
Thank you.
Did you have any questions for us?
No, thank you very much.
All right. Cool. All right. Who we got here? Oh, Thanor? Are you online, Thanor?
Yep.
Yep. Awesome, man. Do you want to tell us about your one? Wow. Looks cool.
Yep. For my one, I aim to do some sort of Thailand cultural style.
Yep.
So it's sort of involving a lot of clothing and a pattern that is unique to the cultures. And I also try to maintain the design with the silhouette of the Met collector.
Mm-hmm.
I try to keep everything from the different shape as much as possible.
Yeah. So let's turn that person on. Cool. This is the first time I've seen your entry actually, so I'm just going to go all the way back to the start, and you've got a lot of updates, which is awesome. Cool. We're just looking at some of the sort of traditional Thai patterns and sculptures and stuff. These are amazing. Love that. So cool.
Yes, some of the design has changed over time quite a bit.
Yep.
I kind of aim the highest possible result, but because I first time experiencing in a painter and texturing in the whole, so
Oh
I
wow.
try to simplify.
And how are you finding the
detail
experience?
It's quite surprising smooth.
Yeah.
Actually, I surprised how the 3D texturing software can bring a lot of 2D skill
Yep.
to play quite smoothly with the mask, the brush, the curve features.
Yeah, awesome.
Quite surprised. Yeah.
And it's your first time using Substance Painter?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. And did you watch the tutorials and stuff?
Yes, I mainly focus on the two from the full episode that provide.
Yep.
Just how to explore on YouTube.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah. At first I got start from the simple shape, using the same technique from the YouTube. Then
Yep.
I start from drawing the shape,
Yep.
then clean it up with the curve features to
Yep.
get a very refined and clean shape, and then just extrude it inward or outward with a displacement map.
Yep.
And keep on later I use the anchor point
Yep.
to reference from the bigger point, and just sort of using the blending mode to add or something like that to create a new shape that is smaller.
Yep.
I kind of feel it somewhat similar to the old stone carving technique. That
Yeah.
I sort of like start from the big shape first, and then start carving smaller one level, and then smaller another level, and keep smaller and smaller. Try to yeah.
Do the big parts first, and then get into the detail later.
Yeah, that is worked quite well.
You know what? Like, for somebody that's never used Substance Painter before, you've done a really great job of learning some of the techniques, and yeah, it looks great. That's awesome.
I kind of like have some experience from Houdini a little bit.
Oh yeah,
That it's very confusing in terms of like the ways layout down, like building like some sort of like 3 node.
yep,
But when it's come to Painter, I can like start to see like, wow, it's just so simple in how of the anchor point just going upward.
yeah,
Like keep building from the big shape to the smaller shape. Everything just makes sense.
yeah.
And
No, that's great.
everything just click into place. Yeah.
Great job, man.
Like I separated the displacement into 3 levels. Like the first one that we already see, which are very big part shape, and this
Yep.
one is the second level, which add a smaller shape onto the big shape.
Yep.
And it's all displacement. And this one is the third level, which is mostly details and pattern.
Beautiful.
Still, displacement.
Yeah, you've been pushing it. You've been pushing it, experimenting, which is great.
And previously, I just kind of like went back on the material, like tweaking, like very slightly adding new features to the pattern. Just changing already what already exists, but some of them may be very small. But, yeah, can see the whole can like be different.
Yeah. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, that stretching, that effect around the top there, is that what you were going for? Or is that just because of the geometry?
Yeah, it's a sort of problem that I cannot solve. Is called from the displacement.
Yeah.
Because like that part is being sort of like extruded outward, and
Oh yeah, because that's
the way I
see,
added,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Angela, have you come across that at all on the edge? You have, right?
Yeah, I have, but I have like a very sparky, textury.
Yeah, so you kind of get away with it a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the solution.
What I would something not smooth.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if it's yeah, whether it's like putting a pattern on top of it to kind of almost cover it as well. I don't know. Yeah, it's a good question, that one actually.
Maybe try to blur where the edges.
Sorry, what's that? Maybe try to.
Like if you do a mask with the blur on top of where
Yeah,
the edges.
yeah,
I asked, I think, the same question in the forum.
yeah,
Not sure. Where is it?
yeah. Maybe it's
Yeah,
just.
someone responded. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
like just like blur the edges of the texture, or like the displacement.
Yeah, just to soften it all down so that it kind of just hides it almost. just blurs it into it so that you're not getting that that striation.
Maybe you can add a trim, so it starts like maybe the blue texture after the edge. So wait, I'll try to screenshot and send what I.
All right. It's looking amazing. Sorry, have you got a?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can put some gold there or something else, so you start the blue after the edge, so you can then so you don't have the problem and then get like a nice trim or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's looking great though. I mean, I really love the aesthetics of it, like just that the whole stone sort of look. Yeah, you got some beautiful detail in there. So yeah, maybe just keep working up, see if you can get rid of that because I think that's a bit of an eyesore at the moment. But see whatever you can do to try and hide that would be great. Um, but yeah, well done, man. It's looking fantastic. Very cool. Did anyone else have any feedback? Okay, awesome. Great job. All right, let's have a look at the next one. So we've got who we got? Yo.
Hi.
Oh, Johanna. How are you? Is it Johanna?
Yeah, exactly.
How you doing?
Very good.
Excellent, excellent. So do you want to tell us? This is the first time I've seen this one as well, actually.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us the story?
I'm actually cleaning it a little bit because I worked all night yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that we have a little bit more time. I'm cleaning certain areas and pushing the displacement more further and maybe adding more details to it.
Yeah, awesome. It's really clean. It's nice and clean. You've got some really nice clean displacement happening, and obviously not the same issues as the last entry, but yeah, it's looking great, nice and clean. So the areas that you're working on right now?
The face, because if you zoom a little bit, I have the pattern of the body all over the mouth, maybe. You see that I have just a different pattern that I had on the body, all over the details on the displacement. It's not obvious if you're far away, but if it's close,
Oh, it's on the
I see
lips. It's actually on the lips.
on the face
Oh, wow.
and all the
Oh, yeah.
different parts.
Do you have a close up of that? Because I can't even. Oh, there. Wow.
Yes, I have.
Gee whiz. Yeah, that's cool. It's really, really fun. I would never have picked up on that if you hadn't have told me that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I saw it just today, so
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's looking great. I think I said this to Angela the other day. I'd love to just even when you do your kind of render, maybe just drop so that it's more of a 50% grey. You can have it slightly darker, but when it's that dark, it just blends into the background as well, and you lose a little bit of detail, especially when you get this dark on dark. Maybe just lift the background up a little bit so that it's not as dark.
okay.
But yeah, it's looking fantastic. Looking great. Anybody else have any feedback for Angela? For Johanna?
Maybe some jewel, like you see some indentation where it's gold and silver, so maybe some like diamond-ish kind of thing. I don't know if it will fit the concept. You can add maybe some variation of like textures. We've got metal and then gem and then stone, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So adding like a gem maybe into the key areas where you sort of like something just to add a bit of variation in it. And the base, what is that with the blue base there material? Is that supposed to be? Is that what material is that supposed to be? Is it a leather?
It's like a stone. I saw it in Greece once when I was in vacancy. So I would like to reproduce it, but it's maybe a little bit tricky.
Yeah. Is there a reference of that on your mood board?
In mine, no, yes, but not on that one.
Oh,
I can
okay.
update it.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be cool just to see that. Is it,
Mm-hmm.
it feels a bit more like almost like a type of leather at the moment. It was blue stone in Greece. That's crazy.
Yeah, maybe the pattern are too small on the picture. Maybe I can level up it too. You see it more on the body, in the close up.
Okay. Um, yeah. So I think also just even with the gold trim that you is so that is supposed to be gold, right? Like is that real gold or is yep? Maybe just
Yeah, sorry.
no, go ahead.
I did blending between gold and silver.
Okay. I'm just looking at the bump detail that you've got on it at the moment. It kind of feels like it's almost the same material as your base here. Uh, it would be nice to see, if that was metal, like, and it was like hard, hard metal, maybe there wouldn't be, maybe it would be a bit smoother. Just so that again, there's some variation in this base material and that metal, just so there is a distinction, particularly on the bigger stuff on the outside, on the eyes and all the rest of it. It feels like it's a little bit more metallic just because it is smoother, more reflective. But around the base here, it feels like you're picking up that bump detail from the base material that's coming through. Is that what's happening?
Yeah,
Yeah. So you maybe
it's
just
one, three group maps, but one on all the surface is the same.
yeah, okay. So maybe just doing a mask that you can just dial that down a little bit so that it feels like it's different from that base surface.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, cool. Yep.
I think something you can be add as well. Usually it's going to be your style, but just simply add like a map and say like the multiply to some of the area to have some sort of like a darken and lighten sort of goal, and it's give that because it's have a dense in it, it's going to have some sort of translucency and something to say like the bluish is time style.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. I mean, try. Yeah, this is. I mean, it's like I said, it's looking really clean and polished. The stuff that that we're sort of giving feedback is is just again, if you've got extra time, you want to take it to that next, lift it 10%, then yeah, maybe just try adding some of those details, whether it is a gem, a bit of a bit of a pattern which looks like it's a different material with a gem. And then separating out that gold a little bit more from the base, just so that it feels like it's actually uh, so you're saying is it painted silver or is it gold on top of silver? What was the material there?
Silver, and then on top is gold, and then I did a little bit in between with a painting by hand to smooth it out from silver to gold or from gold to silver.
Yeah, cool. Nice.
Maybe I think the height map of the gold and silver are picking up the 8 map of the material. like if it's in linear judge, it may be that. Like I had this problem as well. Like you see on the gold, maybe I think it's the same 8 map.
Yeah, that's what I think. You
Yeah.
need a mask to stop that coming through.
Like if you put the two 8 map together on linear Dutch, like automatically it's linear Dutch. That's why it's picking up. Yeah, it's really annoying.
Yeah, it is actually. And and what do you change that to?
Wait,
Why not?
I'm trying to do a screenshot.
Yeah.
To show.
Yeah.
You could change it to a normal layer as long as it's masked, so that the other, basically, so that it cancels out the
Counters out. Yeah, exactly. The base
from underneath.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent stuff, Johanna.
Thank you.
And have you used Substance before?
Yes, once I had a teaching class because I'm a student at school.
Yep.
And we had just one lesson and one exam in a period of 1 month.
Oh, wow.
I never used the path tool, the new one, and I had just, using masks and grunge maps
Yep.
before.
Yeah, the path tools is amazing. I love it.
I love it too. It's really great.
Yeah, it's a game changer for sure. Great stuff. Excellent. All right. Who else have we got? Did you have any questions for us?
No, I just had maybe a little one for the render in Substance. I have issues and like so grainy, a grainy render. And I know that it's because of the samples, but I needed really to increase the samples like 3 times more to have it a little bit more less. If you have, some tips or.
Okay. And so you're not gonna you're just doing your render straight within Substance Painter?
Yes.
Yeah.
With the camera front and perspective.
And what was looking grainy? Just everything?
Yeah.
Just everything. And you've increased the samples and it's still looking grainy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe, you know what, if you can send me, and I don't know if you have already, but maybe you can send me your settings for for what you've got that on inside of Sampler. Inside of Painter. Just to have a look at your samples, and maybe this might be just looking, because what I think, maybe part of it is, like you're picking up all these height maps from base materials and stuff, so it might be just all the height maps that are coming through that's making it look noisy as well. So we just need to maybe look at what's happening there, and looking at the render settings just to see if we can get a sweet spot. Oh, there you go. So yeah, just posted the linear dodge, right, with the height. Yeah, cool. Oh, and there's a video there as well. Excellent. Did you get that, Johanna, in the chat?
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, teachers. Okay, I will check it, and if it's the same again, I will send a screen or
Yeah.
to see if it's normal or not.
Brilliant. Excellent. All right.
Thank you very much.
No problem at all. Okay, and next we've got Sun and Day. Is this Sun and Moon, right? Sophie.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, it's well. Oh, that's
yeah. I love to do. I work on the cold shirt pants a bit. I have trouble with the texture a bit.
just lining up and stuff and just warping a little bit?
Yeah, for the sleeve, I'm using an alpha, but I realized that I should maybe separate it because it's so big that with the path tool, it just goes all over the place.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you're using the alpha and the path tool to drive that pattern.
Yeah, it's a whole texture
Yeah.
alpha design.
Yeah. Oh yeah, cool. You can see it going down there as well. Yeah, nice one. Awesome. Yeah, I love that. Is that embroidery? Yeah, it is. Excellent. Oh, that looks cool.
It's a bit too much, the metal, like everywhere.
On the
I tried to do like a stitch metal, but yeah, I think it's a bit too much overall.
it's getting a bit too much metallic.
Yes.
Yeah, possibly. It maybe. I feel like the embroidery as well is quite low resolution, and you don't get that embroidery sense. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you created the embroidery in Sampler or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's why it was good in sampler, and then I imported it. Maybe there's just the metal that just makes it stand out too much.
Yeah, maybe. Also, yeah, and what's the resolution of the actual what did you output that as from Sampler?
Like the resolution, exported resolution.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Maybe it's 2K.
Yeah,
I should show 4K.
yeah, I would go 4K. Yeah, just because there's a lot of detail in a small, like I would probably I'd output that at 4K.
Oh, excuse me, so we can change the resolution of our textures to 2K from 2K? 2K is the default.
Yeah, you can change your resolution for sure. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. No problem at all. Yeah, it's for the badge though. When you're exporting that out of Sampler, I would export it out at 4K and see what that looks like as well. And yeah, and also I guess yeah, it's also looking at that UV and seeing how much space that you're dealing with there as well. Because you want to try and get as much resolution because that'll be a pretty small area on the actual UV space there. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good.
yeah, cool. And are you going to, and with this pattern, are you adding any height detail to it, or is there height in there that I just can't see?
Yeah, there's a height already, but there's like so much detail on it that you lose the edge
Yeah,
of it, or maybe just too gray in the alpha.
yeah, I
Like
don't,
you need to really zoom in to see like the details. So
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, maybe it's just because I mean, I'm not reading the height on that at all, hardly at all. I can see a little bit there now, actually, on the edge, but I'm wondering if it is too much just metallic that it's just sitting on top of more metallic and you're losing it a little bit. You could even just maybe just tweak the base color of the sleeve so there's a bit of a contrast to that pattern on top. Just play around with that
okay,
a little bit, just so that because you've done a really nice job in getting that pattern and the alpha and the. It would be a shame to see you lose all that detail in there.
like a velvet kind of
Yeah,
texture,
maybe.
like
Yeah,
the
maybe
pen.
it's maybe something that's a little bit, but again, yeah, it'd just be you just want to experiment and just see what's going to read, what material underneath that is going to make that sort of read a little bit better, but still feel like it's in the same world with the rest of the jacket and stuff. But yeah, maybe just playing with that because even the sleeve trim here, what is that? Is that what material is that? Is that a metallic material as well?
Yeah, satin, like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
reflective.
yeah, yeah, cool. maybe it's just adding a satin, but a lighter version of that underneath this base pattern, so it helps pop the pattern out. And are you adding stitching detail at all to that, to where the satin is? Yeah. Okay, cool.
I'm trying to do the article seem like I think Angela did in her work, but I couldn't make it work. So I tried something else.
Yeah. Still working on that area. Oh yeah, you've still got
because the like it's the same materials on both sides.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
once
just
I'm
work on
like
one.
done
No,
with the
yeah, that's totally
lower
cool.
end.
Totally cool. Yeah.
About the stitching of the shirt, is it too big? Like, I tried to make it big a bit so that you can see it at the distance, but maybe it's
No,
too
I don't
much.
think it's too big. I don't think it's too big. The cross stitching and that's going up here, I think it needs to stand out more than the stitching on the shirt. Otherwise, it'll just feel like it's wrong. So it needs to feel like there is an obvious break up between those two surfaces. I think maybe even making it more obvious from this side to that side. I know there's you've kind of got the light blue and the darker blue there. I feel like it needs to be even a little bit more obvious. Because
like changing the color?
Yeah.
What do you recommend?
No, I think the blue's good, but just making it a little bit more extreme in terms of the light,
like
more light, yeah, because it could be, like, see, it's obvious there, right? But when you get it into some lighting, and some shadows, it just feels like it's a little bit too close.
So it'd be nice if, like, especially in the blue parts, there's a bit more roughness variation.
Yeah. So
Just
having a different
a bit more.
So having a different roughness quality on the darker ones than the lighter ones. Is that what you're saying, Angela?
And just like within the
within that shape,
more variation. So, like right now, it looks a little bit like in terms of roughness, just flat.
Yeah.
It was more interesting with like more velvet. Maybe change the texture like satin and velvet for the shirt, or like make it more obvious that the gold parts are more shiny. The fabric is more is a bit rougher.
Yeah.
Or even, and the stitches would be like a different roughness too.
Yeah.
Just to like make it more
variation.
Like, okay, good.
Yeah. So, different roughness from this is different to that from the stitching is. So it's just so that when a light runs across it, you've got that full variation of the various materials.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And actually, even just changing the roughness, you might not have to alter the base color, because that'll just help pop things out as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So more rough for the shirt a bit. So like I keep one sheer and the other one more rough.
Yeah. And then the stitching even more rough than maybe the shirt here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to have like everywhere it's metallic, so it's a bit much.
Yeah. That's what happens. You get tunnel vision, but that's cool. So that shirt is going to be similar on that side once you've got the collar. Yeah, perfect.
It's the same material, so just changing the color. For the boots painted, just I don't have a tablet right now, so tomorrow I will try to do it.
Okay, cool, nice one. No.
Someone suggested like doing some emission, but because it's a realistic clothing, not too sure where to add it.
Emission where?
Because it's just like sun and moon, sun is shining. That's why I added metallic, but emission could be good. I'm not too sure where.
Oh, you know what? I wouldn't worry about that just yet. I think I'd just concentrate on kind of getting it to, because there might be enough variation once you've played with the roughness on those materials. I think
Okay.
emission could start looking a little bit corny, like it depending. There might it might be really subtle, but it's something that you add at the end. And again, I would just it would be just a quick test just to see what that that post render looks like with emission on it. But yeah, I mean, you could do that, so there's a little bit of brightness with the orange glow there, and maybe there's a bit of a blue, cooler glow on that side. But again, I think that would be something you look at the end once you've finished all this stuff. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Cool. Excellent.
Thank you.
Good progress. Did you have any questions for us?
No, it's fine. I was wondering about this stitching, but it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Cool.
Yeah. Because can you how I had trouble smoothing the pad for the sleeve kind of thing. You try to go around the model, but then it's just wavy, so it's just hard to try to work around that.
This one here?
Not too sure. Yeah.
So, sorry, what was the question again? You tried to do the path around the sleeve?
Yeah, it's just wavy sometimes, so it's just hard a bit. So I'm not too sure if there's any type, because the only way I could add this trim is with the pad tool. Not sure there's another method. You might want to I can see your alpha. It has the 3 sections. You might want to have it only the middle section so that each one can be matched up properly. Oh yeah. Separated with 2 paths. Yeah, and then you set the spacing to just move. Yeah. So that I can have some variation, because you don't really see the height variation of it in between.
Yeah.
It might make it a bit easier.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, there might be a world where you're, not using the path tool as well, where it could be, projecting it on as well to get a cleaner. I don't know. You just need to play around with that. A lot of the times is, there's more than one solution, but it's trying to find the one that works the best in the least possible time. So I mean, if you get a good result with the path, maybe just simplifying that a little bit, then stick with that. But don't be scared to try other options for something like that as well. I'm just trying to remember what.
I tried to do individual dots path to it, but just try to rotate it, try to move it.
Yeah.
I tried to just separate it.
All right. Cool. Awesome. No, great update. Looking forward to seeing how it all sort of comes together, even just with those small tweaks. Should be cool.
Yeah, thank you. The next 3 things are not working, so I'll just do.
Brilliant. Excellent. Cool. Is it? No, we've got that one. Done that one. Got that one. Awesome. I think we're good. I was just gonna see what else was there. I think at last count there was close to 230 entries, which is great. There's some really cool stuff coming through, which is good. We'll be able to do some fun social media posting and be able to promote some of this stuff, which is great. But thank you all for jumping on today. If there's no other questions, I'm going to call it there. And
Kim is typing. I don't think Mike or him.
Maybe adding some emission would be cool.
I'm not too sure that person sends something.
No, he's just saying, or he or she is just saying maybe adding some emission would be cool. Also, you can hide the seam at a place where the camera can't see. Okay. Not sure what it means like that.
The person sent her.
Oh, there you go. Oh, cool.
I love the details.
Yeah, I know. It's just looking at. Let's go back to the start. Oh yeah, awesome. Yeah, cool. Who we got? Is it Fee? Did you want to? I'm not going to try and pronounce your name. Did you want to talk about your entry or not? Totally fine if you don't. Oh, let's just pull that up again. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm loving the detail as well. Actually, it's really, really cool. I'd love to know what sort of materials are going to be used. Is it going to be? Yeah, I mean, it's a really, really great sculpt thus far. Yeah, looking at all the little details on the top, lots of stuff going on. So I'm guessing it's going to be sort of mechanical, yeah, that sort of alien type material. But is my mic working? No, your mic's not working. You want to give it another shot? Oh, oh, hang on a sec. Yeah, it says that it's stopped. You want to try that now? Yeah, go for it.
Hello.
Yeah, go for it.
Um, sorry. I'm trying to do for like a sculpture, like a stone sculpture kind of texture that I'm going for.
Okay.
So I have a picture in the chat as like my current progress right now, and it's something It's something I want to look like it's something from like a museum or something.
Okay, awesome. So, if we just have a look at so is it something like this where you're going for this type of stone sculpture?
Yeah, I sent a picture on Discord.
Oh, cool. Oh, awesome. Oh, great. Oh, yeah, cool. That's great. Yeah, brilliant. And that's so is that so you just got base colors down at the moment. There's no stone material as a base, right?
Yeah,
Not yet. Yeah, awesome. Loving the progress. Looks great. Some really nice, deep, neat details in the sculpts. Yeah, it's fantastic. Oh, I was going to actually look at the back there as well. Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's looking really cool. Yeah, I think once you get that, yeah, once you get that base stone and that real and just defining what that looks like with the base material and then adding your painted features on the top, I think that's going to look really cool. Is that so? Is that going to be actual real gold? Is that the sort of look you're going for there with the trim gold trim stuff there?
I have gold um flakes.
Oh yeah,
Like gold leaf.
yeah, gold leaf. Yeah, yeah, cool. Yeah, excellent. And for the mouth area, is that going to be that's all going to be stone as well, right? Like so, the whole it's all.
That's I'm a bit worried that there's not enough variation in terms of the texture.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of uh yeah, you've got a lot of sculpted detail in there, and you're right. You kind of if it's going to be stone, what other and you've got your metal bits and you've got your hand paint. Maybe and again, I think it's kind of getting it to a point when you've added the stone material, just evaluating at that point, right, and just kind of looking and going, what else? Maybe there are gems and stone, precious stones or something that could be added in as well. But for right now, I would just concentrate on what that base stone material is going to be, and there might be enough variation even in that base material to kind of add some interest. And then on top of that, and then just building on top of that. Uh, whoops, in terms of the base, is that going to be stone as well, like the red base, or what are you thinking there?
I'm thinking of those wooden ones, like the
Oh yeah,
or a stem.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Just think it would be good to maybe even just spending a little bit of time in terms of like So, so are you looking at? So when I'm thinking metal, is it kind of like, stone? Is it something similar to this?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, when I look at, I mean, I'd love to get see if you've got have you got a bigger version of this or higher resolution of this image here?
Yeah, I can be that second.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I mean, even when I look at this, there is lots of variation in it. Like even though it's like it looks quite plain, but you can see all the the nice colors with this brown, the sort of the discoloration within there's a lot going on, even though it looks plain. Even on the wings, you can see there's that there's that level of discoloration on the bottom. There's dirt. I would be looking at this really really closely and making some notes about how you can make your model because I really I love this base material. But what is it ivory or what is that stone? What type of stone is that? That's the question you need to find out. And then how do you get this quality with all this, color variation that's part of it onto your model? That looks super cool. And then you've got the wooden base, right? Yeah. Because you could have some, that could be really really nice with all that sort of that detail that's added in there, and then the brown, the off white colors, they're a part of that. Yeah, I could see that working. But you just need to nail that look. Yeah. See if you could. So I mean, you've got reference to what that is. I'd find out what that material is. It looks like it's ivory or something, carved ivory or carved animal horn or something. But it would be interesting to find out what that is. And then that's the base that you start with. And then from that, then you start, building up your ambient occlusion and getting this color and adding all this detail. You can even see, the sort of slight color variations in the side here as well. Yeah, very cool. Nice work.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. Did you have any questions?
I just have some artifacts, like especially on the forehead when I'm doing the displacement. So you see those like faint lines on
These
the
ones here?
yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you'd done that on purpose, actually. I didn't mind them. I thought they were kind of cool.
Some of them look pretty cool, but this one is a bit bothers me a bit. I don't know where they come.
Is what resolution do you have your displacement or height map at?
Forehead.
But I mean, in terms of bit depth, is it 8-bit or 16-bit?
I think I have it at 8-bit.
Yeah, try making it 16 or 32-bit, and it should get rid of that stuff.
Okay. Thank you.
Try that. Okay, cool. Excellent. All right, I'm going to